Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another session of Peeking Over the Fence. I am Richard Landy, and this is for financial advisors or teams that might be considering their next transition. So we are Bridgemark Strategies. We're an independent. We're a recruiting consulting firm. We've helped well over 1,000 advisors the past decade go through the transition process together. And today what I'd like to talk to you, I created a subject called It's Not Necessarily All Your Fault. And what I'm talking about is many advisors do not know what their net payout is at the end of the day. So we want to talk about that a little bit because it comes up actually a little bit more often than you think. So what we want to talk about is your base payout versus your net payout, the traditional pro forma, a pro forma which varies from firm to firm. We're going to talk about that. Also, the ability to compare and contrast where you are today to where you want to be. And lastly, because a pro forma is a recorded document, you now have transparency. Very important for that piece. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. You'd be surprised how many advisors do not know what their net payout is, and that's okay. It's very easy to figure out, again, going back to what a pro forma will be. And within that are going to be potential red flags that we get to identify together in order to not make mistakes. Number two, your pro forma, traditional pro forma, again, different from firm to firm, but typically it's a 1 to 2 page document. It's going to itemize all the fees and expenses that you're responsible for, all the fees and expenses the firm is responsible for. And what we're going to do is take that document, start with your gross production, your annual gross production, itemize and minus all those fees, all those expenses to get to a net profit. It's that simple. Take your net profit, we divide that by your gross productivity, and you're going to get a net payout. Now, here's what's interesting. In the independent 1099 space, and we'll use a baseline, most of them are going to pay you a 90% payout, but it's not truly 90%. We've got to go through and deduct all those fees and expenses to get to your net payout. Same on the W-2 employee channel. Maybe you start out at a 45% payout. Then we have to go back and itemize and minus out all the fees and expenses that may occur within your model to get to your own net effective rate, which typically is going to be lower, and that can be in that low 30s, mid 30s. In any event, that's to be identified in number 3, the pro forma. We want to compare and to contrast. All firms are different. You hear these buzzwords, which are very important: affiliation fees, program fees, pre-gross, post-gross. Way too many nuances just to look at one document to come up with a net payout. So you and I go through that process and all the nuances in order to identify any of the red flags so we know what our net payout is. And lastly, you're going to have transparency because now you have a document. The document, there's no discrepancies. And I have to say, there is no debate. If your next paycheck comes in and it's not what they told you it would be, what are we going to do? Here's my pro forma. Here's what you told me my payout would be. So look, I hope this was helpful today. In summary, base payout versus net payout, pro forma, that is table stakes, compare and contrast, and we have transparency with a written document. If you'd like to learn a little bit more, maybe you have that general question or ability to just peek over your own fence. Remember, no cost or obligation to talk with me. You got all my contact information. I'm happy to have time with you, and I wish everybody a blessed day.